Hola amigos, soy PadreGamer y continuando con la conferencia del Unity Developer Day Colombia 2019 en su KeyNote, vamos esta vez a ver acerca de Ray Tracing en Unity, y esto fue presentado por Geig durante esta conferencia que se realizó el 13 de julio del 2019. Geig es el gerente de contenido de Unity Technologies y él fue la persona que presentó este demo y las explicaciones de lo que es Ray Tracing. Pero, ¿qué es Ray Tracing? Ray Tracing es una técnica de renderizado que puede producir efectos de iluminación increíblemente realistas. Un algoritmo puede trazar el camino que sigue la luz y simular la manera como la luz o ese rayo de luz interactúa con los objetos con los que colisiona en el mundo virtual. Las sombras y los reflejos son realmente reales, pues siguen las leyes de la física óptica. Y vamos a poder apreciar reflejos o interacciones de luz provenientes de fuentes que se encuentran fuera del volumen de visualización de la cámara. ¿Qué quiere decir esto? Que si por ejemplo estamos viendo una superficie que refleja, muy brillante, que refleja la luz de alguna manera, cualquier fuente de luz que se encuentre incluso detrás de la cámara va a poder ser renderizada sobre esa superficie, cosa que antes sin Ray Tracing no se podía hacer. Requiere un alto poder de procesamiento gráfico, obviamente. De hecho, Ray Tracing solamente está disponible con las tarjetas gráficas las más modernas y las que tienen más poder de procesamiento. Y ya es posible de hacer en tiempo real, lo que se llama el Real-Time Ray Tracing. Ahora, lo que sucede es que antes el Ray Tracing existía para lo que era el renderizado posterior para efectos de cámaras más que todo en películas de Hollywood. Pero ahora ya se puede hacer en tiempo real, lo cual va a darle a lo que es el cine hecho en computación y los videojuegos un gran cambio y un gran nivel de realismo. Así que esta fue mi explicación de lo que es Ray Tracing, pero vamos a darle el paso a Geig durante el Unity Developer Day, donde habló acerca de Ray Tracing en Unity y cómo esto va a influenciar las tecnologías y el desarrollo de videojuegos en el futuro.
Ahora doy paso a Geig, líder de contenidos de Unity, quien les va a explicar sobre un tema que va a tomar bastante relevancia en el futuro, que es el Ray Tracing.
Hola. How's everyone doing? Good?
Good.
Fantastic. Glad to hear it. So, earlier this year, Unity announced its first foray, its first kind of movement into this concept of real-time ray tracing. And we did this with some technology powered by nVidia's RTX technology. And so since then, a lot of people have gotten their hands on it and started doing some really cool stuff with it. And for those of us here who maybe haven't seen that or don't know what it's about, I wanted to come up here and talk a little bit about it and show kind of how it works. But we're going to start off with just a little quick video here.
Invent yourself and then reinvent yourself. Don't swim in the same slough. Invent yourself and then reinvent yourself. And stay out of the clutches of mediocrity. Invent yourself and then reinvent yourself. Change your tone and shape so often that they can never categorize you. Reinvigorate yourself and accept what is, but only on the terms that you have invented. Be self-taught and reinvent your life because you must. It is your life, and its history and the present belong only to you.
All right, so what was really cool about what we just saw? Obviously, it was a bunch of cars, whatever. But this was made with, no, light's still on. You guys. It's okay. So what that video we saw was a series of 22 different shots, different sequences. What's really neat about that is 11 of those were filmed with an actual car in an actual room with a camera, and it was a real car. And the other 11 were digitally created using real-time ray tracing technology and stuff like that. And one of the really awesome things about this is even like for us who saw the process, were a part of the process, it's really hard to tell which one's which. We had to create a sheet that said, oh no, this shot's real and this shot's not real and whatever. And a lot of times we were surprised to be talking about one shot and find out like, oh no, that was the real car. Oh, that's not the one we want to talk about. We want to talk about this other one. So it's really, really awesome. And so what I have here now is I have an actual project with this car in it, and I want to talk a little bit about what some of these capabilities are, what some of this stuff looks like, and ultimately how you can get started using this. So here in this scene, I'm using the real-time ray tracing, and you can see I have this BMW vehicle here, and already we can see these real-time lights, part of the high definition render pipeline, the HDRP, coming off this video screen. So the actual video is contributing to these lights. And the reflection we see on the ground right now is not utilizing our ray tracing, it's utilizing screen space reflection. Right? Screen space reflection is a great technique for getting some really cool reflections, but it has a lot of limitations in that it can only calculate reflections based on the things we can see on the screen, right, in the frame. And so when I look at some parts of this car, I know that light from this screen in front should be bouncing under the car, and I should be seeing it. I should be seeing other reflections that aren't quite there. And so what I can do is I'm actually going to turn on our ray tracing reflections here. And we can already see just how much better those look. So again, turning them off and turning them back on. Now this becomes really apparent if I change my video here to say something like this. And so now what we can see is the light that's reflecting off the side of the car and off the wheels of the car are now reflected on the ground beneath it, which we couldn't see previously because they weren't part of the frame. And so we can see just how much better those reflections look when we're dealing with real-time ray tracing. Now the same, we can go from basically no shadows or simple dynamic shadows, which again, these things look rather flat, or we can work with real-time reflected shadows, which is just this really cool, very, very graphically accurate way to work. Now let me switch shots here. I'm gonna switch over this one. This is one of my favorite shots here. I'll close that door. And so what we're looking at here, by the way, this is running at about 38 frames a second on a laptop. So just to give you an idea of performance and stuff like that. So it's pretty decent, and this is from an earlier build. So what we have here is we have layered glass as part of this tail light. And this is a really, really powerful effect. Now, I can turn this off and show you actually what this looks like without ray tracing. It looks like this. Now you think, oh hey, I'm missing a texture because it's that purple magenta color. I'm not. That is actually physically, in real life, the color of that tail light behind that red glass that refracts it around. Now with the ray tracing, what we're able to do is we're able to calculate that light bouncing back and forth between the glass and then coming forward and softening everything there. And so again, when I turn this primary visibility back on, we get what we see in the real world when we're looking at these taillights, right? It looks pretty awesome. Again, we can see this great reflections on the side of the vehicle, which when I turn them off, they tend to be a lot more flat because there's a lot of the video we can't see. And when I turn them back on, it becomes much more dynamic. Now, one of the other awesome things about this is because it's real time, we have access to all the cool shader graph stuff with HDRP, so I can check out all these different variants in the vehicle there. If I want to go to my wide shot, I can do that. Just check out different types of cars, whatever. Now, let me switch to my interior view. So with my interior view, right? Yeah, I agree. And so with my interior view, we can check all this stuff out. And there's already so much stuff happening here that's really, really cool. So again, if I wanted to say turn off real-time reflections, right? So now we go back to screen space reflections, and they're okay, but the real-time stuff. So for instance, if we look right here, we can see the reflections of the seat behind me, right? Well, with screen space reflections, we can't because it's not on our screen. We have no idea it's behind us. But with ray tracing, we can see all that stuff, and it's really, really powerful. Just like we saw the taillights, we can look at the refraction on this gear shifter. Now let me go to my maybe side view here. And so we can see this gear shifter has a light in it in this sort of crystal top. And if I turn off that primary visibility, it becomes very flat, right? And we stop really seeing the really cool stuff. It just becomes basically this reflective thing with that in there. When we turn it on, we get all that cool refraction and everything. Now, one last thing I want to talk about is the concept of shadows, ambient occlusion, global illumination. Those things are all very important for achieving a very high level of graphical fidelity. So I'm going to switch over here to a different material set. So this is my material set that's white, but I've kept all of the attribution of global illumination. So I can still see the red from everything because this was a red sort of interior, right? So I look in here, I still see a lot of red everywhere because my inside of my car was very red. And so when I'm looking at this, what I'm seeing is that attribution. And if I were to say turn that off, right, I again just see things become very, very flat without that color attribution. I also can turn off maybe say my ambient occlusion, and I start seeing that we lose a lot of that detail. Again, all calculated real time. And then turn off shadows and things become very flat there. So utilizing these tools, we have a lot of power to just tell a really, really incredible story, right? To see things real time, updated, with a level of graphical fidelity that before was just completely impossible. And my purpose was to kind of talk a little bit about this with you, but also to enable you to try it, right? Because we want everyone to try this out. You can try it out right now. We have a preview build you can download and check out just by going to this site and seeing all these different materials we have about it. But give it a whirl. If you're creating something you want it to just look amazing, try out the ray tracing stuff. It's actually really, really impressive. And hopefully you all can create some really awesome stuff and let us know about it. Thank you very much.